Okay, so my name is Emanuel. I am also part of the group Easy Housing that already presented yesterday. This is another idea that we came up during our idea research. And my idea for now is called Our Stories. And it's about an application that tells a story in an interactive way to children. So it's an application for children, a storytelling application for children. And there's a small story that I can tell, which is my younger cousin, who isn't even 2 years old, is already able to unlock an iPhone, open up an application, and actually solve small puzzles on an iPhone using his intuitive touching and so on. So nowadays, based on my experiences, I found out that 75% of parents with an application device also give it to their children to use it. And I was thinking about how do I narrate a story, or how do I tell a fairy tale when you have this great technology at your hand. And in my opinion, an application should give freedom on how you explain the story. And this application should contain an interactive audiobook for children who cannot read yet, then an interactive reading method, or just a simple narration mode for the parents, so that you have the complete choice of possibilities, which is also the main part that divides us from any other interactive story or any other interactive audiobook and so on inside the App Store. And, well, what stories should be told? Let's say, okay, we have a lot of audiobooks already for English speakers. So, in my opinion, it would be better to focus on, for example, other nationalities like Germany or Italy, where you already have very traditional fairy tales that we could use. And to my last point, sorry for being too long, how would we make money? In my opinion, the only real way is to actually let them pay a small amount of money per story, but this platform, Our Story, would also give the opportunity to see how many stories are available in our language, and then we could later on buy additional stories out of the small store or out of the store. And well, the problem is we cannot offer a free or credit-based service, because you kind of want to buy the whole book and not kind of like turn a page inside a book, and then if you want to keep reading you have to pay for another page and so on. That would be a very bad service. So I think in this case it would make sense to actually have a sort of prepaid service. Thank you very much.
Questions? Yeah. So I have a comment, not a question. I think, nice idea. I have a 5-year-old, so I know. I'm sure. So the kids at that age able to use touch devices are higher than 75%.
Yes, I think so too. I mean, this is an article in The Guardian from, I think, 2 years ago, so it's actually already outdated, and yes, it's true, but maybe most parents don't, admit to this kind of thing. But, I mean, the child sees that the parent uses these devices every day, lots of times a day, so it's automatically very interested in this sort of technology.
So it's meant to be used together with kids and parents together, or only
yes,
you leave the
I want to give the user the opportunity of choice. For example, it could be a parent sitting at the side of the child's bed and reading from the iPad. We have the reading mode with static pictures that could be shown to the child, but it's basically the parent that tells the story to the child. Or you could have, when you're traveling, you have this audiobook and the child can listen in the back, and with those interactive elements keep the story going, so that while the parent is occupied, for example, the child would be occupied as well and be busy doing something else. Or, you know, for older children who can already read, you would also have the opportunity to actually read the story as well.
You can get someone with the education background or psychology background. Would be nice to be in your team, because that would help a lot.
Yes.
How to approach the kids.
That's true, but I think we already have great opportunities in this group, because we already have like informatics students, we have a couple of design students and also economics students, so we already have a broad area that we would need. I mean, yes, that would be very useful as well.
I think someone from education is here, that's why I'm saying.
Ah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, perfect.
Another question there. Yeah.
Why should Manchurian so cousin use this app instead of watching a fairy tale on TV or even read a book?
That's a good question. We have, I mean, you lose the interactivity part, for example. That is one thing. For a book to be interactive, there's only one type of book that nowadays can do that. That is like the classic pop-up book. And these are, of course, very complicated to create and actually take a lot of manual work. And here, we don't, I mean, it is a lot simpler to code, and we still have those interactive elements that the child could control. For example, okay, we have the story of Little Red Riding Hood, and for example, the wolf is hiding behind a stone, and the child has to drag the stone or avoid the stone by, you know, taking a different path and so on. And that is something you wouldn't be able to offer on TV or in a book.
Other comment, first, good idea. I think it's really, because if you are talking about these childs and applications and so on, I think it's becoming more and more important, because of course parents travel and so on, and it's you don't take 10 books with you.
Yes.
That's why I think it's a good idea. And then I'll comment for you for the pitch. You should start really with the most interesting thing, because you started with our stories and an application, and then I thought about another application, and then you came out with the most interesting thing. That then I was listening. You said, my 2 years old cousin played with the application with the smartphone and was able to unlock, and then I thought about.
It's true. I know what you mean, and I actually wanted to start with this part, but you know, I only had like half a day of preparation, so I kind of got lost at the start. I'm sorry.
It's only implies, but
thank you. Yes,
it's true. A good professor told me one time that you have 7 to 10 seconds to get attention. So you should really start with the most interesting point and go on.
I think another point really interesting is, you know, how much a traditional book costs for children. We spent a lot of money on that. Instead, app, you can this price, you know, advantage, something you can really highlight.
It's true. I mean, you always have to find, you know, a balance between how much work you put into it, especially when you think about illustrations and drawings that you still have to do even for this application. And it always depends.
The app, how much would it cost? Yeah, if you...
Well, I was looking for comparisons inside the App Store. That's, I think, the only way you can really tell, and it was reaching from €2 to €5, and well, I don't know. It's difficult, because even like some €5 apps could be really, really well done, like complete 3-dimensional interactive stories, for example, by Disney and Pixar, or I don't know, some not very well made drawings that still cost €4, and you don't really know what's inside. So I think that is definitely the price range, from €2 to €5, but it always depends on how you create and tell those stories. I think that's a very important part, and also the main part that will, apart from the service that would be offered as well, would, you know, divide this application from the masses.
I think it would be a very nice way to promote young writers also. that you can reuse
That's true as
already
well.
books made, and you just recreate the scenes somehow.
Yes. I was thinking about telling traditional stories because I think for the start that's the best way because they aren't copyrighted and you can use them freely, which is I think for now if we don't have any stories at hand, a good start or a good opportunity as well.
That's
but
true.
I mean, yes.
That's true.
Okay, let's stop here. Thanks for your
Okay.
speech.